coming to you from the Ladies Garden and Home, and today we're going to plant up the tomatoes. Finally! Yay! So we have a gorgeous day. It's about low 80s and sunny, although later this afternoon we're supposed to get some rain, which is great because if I can get all these tomatoes in before the rain comes, they'll be watered in really, really nicely. All of these I started from seed back in early March 8th. I started all of these from seeds. I did a video also when I potted them up from their little seedling trays to larger pots. I also wanted to show you some of the tools that I use when I'm transplanting. I prefer to use a bulb planter. This is originally, I think, for daffodil bulbs and tulip bulbs, but I like using this, and I'll show you when I plant them why, because it gets a nice deep hole. And then into the hole I put a couple of different things. This is Myco Bliss. It is a mycorrhizal inoculant. This is to promote root growth. And then some worm castings and powdered eggshells. Now the reason for this is because tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, they can suffer from what's called blossom end rot, and sometimes it's due to a watering issue, but what basically blossom end rot is a lack of calcium being able to go up into the plant. So I will show you how I make this in this clip coming up right now. And this is how I make my eggshell dust. I'm cracking an egg. I put the shells on some tin foil on a little tray from my toaster oven, and then I pop it in to the toaster oven, set it to 200, for 12 minutes. When the eggshells come out, I crush them and I put them in a jar. And then, when I'm ready to make my eggshell dust, I simply use my coffee grinder and then I have my measuring stick. I know it does not look like a ruler, but I plant my tomatoes 18 inches apart, and it's 18 inches. So this is just very easy for me to use. That's about it. Let's get started. I just wanted to mention that we want to make sure that the conditions are right before we plant our tomatoes. We want to make sure that the evenings aren't getting down below like maybe 60, 55 degrees. And also that the soil is warm enough. So I put my compost thermometer in here, and it looks like the soil is 70 degrees. So they should be happy. This bed looks pretty full. Because I have a whole bunch of stuff that I overwintered and also planted up in the spring. I've got some spinach, some leeks, some broccoli, celery, onions, cabbage. But I'm going to be pulling the spinach because it's bolting, this overwintered, and that'll give it some airflow. Ideally, you want to plant your tomatoes about 18 inches apart. Sometimes you can squish them to 16. So I'm going to start at this corner, probably up here, so I can have something, maybe some nasturtium spilling out there. And then I'm going to use my 18-inch stick and find the next 18 inches. And I'm going to make a little, so I know where it is. Now this is getting too close to the celery, so I'm going to have to figure out what I'm doing with the celery. I really don't want to lose the plant. Maybe I can just cut it back. Then I'm going to put one right here in between two of the plants, and then in this corner right here. And then coming around, okay, mirroring that corner over there, right around here, and then 18 from there. Looks like it's, I think that we got a little volunteer nasturtiums coming up, and that's dill. This is cabbage I planted. Hasn't done much, but all right. We're running into some crowding over here, so rather than put another tomato plant there, I'll work backwards from this corner. Let's see. Running into some crowding over here too, so I think I'm going to have to pull these onions today. That's all right. Let's do it now. Not much of a bulb, but that's going to make a nice spring onion. Ooh, look at that nice earthworm. The next thing we need to do is get these supports in. For this, I got these 7-foot stakes. All right, let's put these in. So you want to put them about 2 inches back from where you're going to be digging the hole. Am I putting the right side in? I got 7 feet because hopefully these will go in about a foot, and it'll still leave me with about 6 feet. Let's get planting. Okay, we're going to start with this German striped yellow, and I know I've talked about this in previous videos, but when you plant tomatoes, you really want to bury the stem quite a bit, and the reason is because they have this little fuzz here that will turn into roots, and those roots will make a very sturdy plant. So what I'm going to do, I've already clipped off a couple of the lower leaves, but I'm going to clip this one off too. And using the bulb digger, and my goal is to dig a nice deep hole. Oh, hello, Mr. Worm. The reason I like this bulb thing is because it really can get pretty deep and allow, hopefully you can see that. I'm going to throw some worm castings in. Sprinkle the Myco Bliss. In the hole and also up the sides. And then my powdered eggshells. Oops. And then I'm going to water down the hole with some liquid fertilizer. And let that hole drain out. Okay, well that's going on. Oh good, we've got some nice root structure, but it's not too bound, and I like to just kind of loosen it up a little bit. I don't tease out the roots or anything. Firm it in, and I like to imprint like a little well around it so that when you water it, the water goes straight down to the roots. Okay everybody, one down, got about 30 more to go, and I will bring you back when I'm done planting everything up. Wish me luck. So that was a lot of work, but we've got our slicing tomatoes here in this bed. These are the poles. They could be straighter, but that's okay. So these grow bags are where I decided to put the cherry tomatoes. They took 2 bags of soil and a half a bag of compost, and that was, you know, they're big bags. But that being said, I don't think they're big enough for all of the cherry tomatoes that I crammed in here. So I'm going to have to keep on top of this, make sure that they don't get well, they are already overcrowded. There's no question about that. But I'm going to have to prune them. Yeah, I think this is going to be chaos. But we'll see. Then in amongst the broccoli here and the cauliflower, I put the sauce tomatoes. We've got the Caesars over here. San Marzanos. And these are speckled sauce. And I spent most of yesterday putting in these posts with a net trellis. Never used that before, but to be honest with you, the last couple of years in a row, I had very good luck with the support of my tomatoes. So, and cattle panels are out of the question for me. So let's see if this works. The cattle panels are the trellis system of choice for most gardeners, but I have no way to get them here, and they are unavailable for shipping. So anyway, these 2 cauliflower look very unhappy because I had to transplant them to make room for the tomatoes. But they'll perk up. They're just in a little bit of transplant shock, that's all. Well, what a beautiful day in the garden this was. Very productive, a little exhausting, but that's okay because I feel like the tomatoes were hanging over my head, and it was time to get them in. The weather was right. It looks like we're going to have some really great weather for tomatoes and peppers and eggplant finally. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like. We're going to be planting peppers next, and then I'm going to be popping in some of my flowers, and then I think we'll do a tour. I think it's time for a tour. So please subscribe and hit the alert bell so you can be notified when a new video becomes available. And from the Ladies Garden and Home, enjoy your gardening journey. Bye! Lady, where are you? Come, get out of the tomato bed. Come on.